All right, so let's look at some box plots that were created for us. These are some box plots I made that give the age of Oscar winners from 1923 to 2022. And I've created two of them, one over top of each other. I have a box plot that represents the best actor ages and the best actress ages. And I want to use these two box plots and ask some questions about them and use them to kind of make sure we understand how box plots work and what we're seeing when we see a box plot. So first of all, question one, let's estimate the median age of best actor winners. Well, it's saying best actor, so we're going to look at the top box plot. So the top box plot, we have best actor winners, and if we want the median, the thing to remember about a box plot is the median is going to be right in the center where you have that line, that vertical line in the box. So right here. And to figure out what that age is, we just go down to the axis, and it looks like it would be somewhere between 40 and 45, closer to 45, so maybe 44 years of age. As an approximate, it might be 43, but around 44, 43. We just have to do our best to approximate that. What percentage of Best Actor winners are older than this? So to be older, we'd be looking at what percent are older than this. Well, you might think you have to look at the axis to see that, okay? But remember, a box plot, every part of a box plot is based on quarters. So the median is going to be breaking up the data in half. So what we have in the upper half above the median is we have the upper 50% of the data. So that means there 50% of the actors who won Oscars were older than 44. So remember, the box plot is all about quarters because it's based on the 5-number summary. One thing I want to mention here before I go any further is that these box plots are a little different. In fact, they're called modified box plots. And that's because you may have noticed these little X's. These X's represent outliers. A box plot can be drawn in one of two ways. It can be drawn in a regular format where you extend your whisker all the way out to the minimum and all the way out to the maximum, regardless of whether the max or the min is an outlier. And if I were doing that here, I would actually take the whisker all the way out to this last value. The other way we can do a box plot is identify specific values that are technically outliers. And there's a mathematical way of determining outliers that if you take a stats class, you'll probably go over. And if you're curious, just ask me, send me an email and ask me. And if we take a look at these are actually outliers. So this makes this a modified box plot. So these outliers are really higher values, and this last one here would be the maximum value. But because they're officially outliers, we actually show them with these little X's, or sometimes asterisks are used. All right, let's take a look at the next question. Approximate the percentage of Best Actress winners that are older than this. So remember, we were talking about 44. So if we think about Best Actress winners, and we look down here, what percentage of actress winners are older than this? Well, think about where we are related to the Best Actress category. We're above the entire box when we're at 44 years of age. We're above the entire box. So that means we're in the upper 25% of the data. So, and we're further up, so it's hard to say exactly what percentage of Best Actress winners are older than 44, but we know that it's 25% or less because we're totally above the entire rectangle of the Best Actress box. So 25% or less actress winners were older than 44. right, so let's do another question related to this box plot. Next question, estimate Q3 for the age of Best Actress winners. All right, let me kind of erase some of my markings there. So this time we're going to be estimating Q3 for Best Actress winners. Remember, in the box plot, the middle line is the median. The box itself goes from Q1 to Q3. So this line at the end, at the upper end of the box would be Q3, and that looks like it's around 41 or 42. So I'll just approximate 41 years. What percentage of Best Actress winners were older than this? Well, that would be exactly 25% because we are looking, again, above Q3, which means we are only have 25% of the data left. Okay, and that kind of also just kind of repeats part of what we were doing in problem number 1B. Here in problem part B, we said 25% or less because we were looking at a slightly higher age, whereas when we look at 41, that's right where Q3 is, so we could say 25, exactly. 25% of winners were older than 41 years of age. A couple more questions with these same box plots to make sure we've got this down. So when we look at these data sets, which data set has more variation? Because we see them in comparison, we can actually think about that. So remember, variation has to do with spread. So when we look at the spread of these two sets, you can see that the actresses, this rectangle is wider than the rectangle for the best actors. So this seems to be wider and therefore would have more spread. And if we go beyond that and we actually extend out to the edges, I'd say there's a little bit more distance in the lower 25% of best actors than for best actresses. It's close, but you can definitely see for best actresses that we have a wider upper 25% of the data than with best actors. So in general, I think we're seeing more variation in best actress ages because there's more spread. Other things that you may notice here. In general, the best actress winners' ages are much lower. They tend to be lower in general than you see for actors. If you compare the minimum ages, we have something just above 20 for best actress, whereas the minimum age for actors is in the high 20s. And in fact, if we just look at the upper 50% of the data, 50% of best actress winners are younger than 35, where 50% of the best actor winners are younger than 44. So you definitely see that the best actress winners are younger in general. And you notice because of that, you do have some best actress winners who are older, but they are outliers, as you can see, these X's. So it's unusual when you compare it to the rest of the data set when you have someone who's above 60 winning best actress. Question 4, estimate Q1 for best actress winners. All right, so let me take out my markings to see this easier. Q1, again, would be the lower part of the rectangle. So if I look at the lower part of the rectangle and go down to the number line, that is approximately, I would say, 28 years of age. What percentage of best actor winners are older than this? Well, when I go up and I compare this number to best actors, And what percentage of the best actors are older than this? Well, all of the best actors who won, or I should say actors who won Best Actor Oscars, all of the entire data set is older than that 28 years. So 100% of Best Actor winners were older than 28.